I would like to talk a little bit about one of the use cases that we did with RAG. Imagine an enterprise that has thousands of employees spread across multiple continents, speaking multiple languages, and they have different IT documents, IT policies for different regions. Now, what happens is, how do we create a bot that can be informative as well as useful for this kind of an enterprise? What we did for this use case implementation is we leveraged a vector database, we leveraged a document preprocessor, as well as we created an interface within their SharePoint. So all of their IT documents were essentially stored as a SharePoint website, and users or the employees of the organization typically referred to the SharePoint site for any of their queries. There were hundreds of documents there and they were mostly in English. So how would somebody who had a simple basic query, how do I order a laptop if I'm at the London office, how would somebody get an answer to that? That is where RAG comes in. What we did was, using the document preprocessor, we parsed all the documents and put it into a vector database and basically exposed it as a REST API via some prompt interfaces as well. Now, what this interface did was, when somebody asked a question, as I said, how do I order a laptop? It would check against the vector database, find the relevant documents, find the pages and the location within the relevant documents as well. It might be that some user is coming in from the London office, whereas some user might be coming in from the France office. So the context becomes very important in these cases. We don't want somebody else to know the policy for the wrong region, because then if they follow that might lead to a bit of a mess up around implementation. Using RAG and using some principles of data access, what the bot does today is, when somebody asks a query, finds the relevant documents, the relevant location within it, and then paraphrases the answer. What that means is, if I'm asking just about how do I order a laptop, it typically means something like, I might need a list of steps. But if the question is, who do I ask if I need a laptop, answer would be more of a relevant stakeholder, which would mean referring a different set of documents. When that answer is created and paraphrased, employee also gets is a list of the reference documents from which this answer was taken. This can be anywhere between 4 to 20 documents, and if the user wants, they can also provide feedback on whether it was a useful response or whether it was not a useful response, which also helps train our RAG pipeline in a better manner and serve the end user in a better manner. We implemented this RAG use case for an enterprise customer who is a confectionery giant based out of Europe.